Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at the newly released Regieleki here in the Go Battle League for the Ultra League here. I tried to trade one as well, but this didn't work out to go for the Great League level sadly. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the Ultra League version right now today. Also happy Easter for everybody who's celebrating this one. We're going to encounter in the first game already the best core breaker for this team, which is going to be the Glassy score here. As well as we're going to now encounter another ground type. Of course, by the way, my opponent's going to know that I'm going to run the Regieleki, so yeah, can sometimes be the case that they try to hard counter it, I never know, but still, double ground here, definitely never going to be a very decent one for electric type Pokemon. But still, maybe we have a chance here with our Regieleki, but no, the opponent already has a charge move here. I can try to go ahead and go for my own Seed Bomb here and try to knock them out with that. But then I have to swap into my Regieleki, and as you're going to see right now, there is one issue with this Pokemon. It has Lock On, like all the cool Regis have. They have Thunder and Hyper Beam, which is actually not the worst, but what you see here already, the resisted wing attack did already enough damage around, like, I don't know, 1/5 of my health. Like, it's insanely squishy. Like, this Pokemon is super squishy, which is really bad for a Regi, because this Pokemon doesn't have any fast move pressure, and usually Registeel and, like, all the other Regis basically benefit from having a very decent amount of bulk, a very good nuke charge moves, and yeah, basically this is what they're trying to use then there as well to win some games with that, because you can just take a charge move, you can then nuke the opponent. They are kind of forced to use shields because your charge moves do so much damage, but here you cannot take a move, like you cannot take a single move really, because it's so squishy. In the main CS games, this Pokemon has an insane speed stat, that's most likely also why it has so much attack in this game here right now. Like usually most Regis are more centered around the bulk. For example, Drago actually had an insane HP stat, not really the best defense, but insane HP stat, but like usually that's centered around bulk. This is the only Regi really that's very attack rated, other than like Regigigas, which of course has a horrible fast move. But yeah, we're going to have here now the matchup against the Scrafty, which will not be really ideal, so that's not going to be the best matchup for us. Otherwise, this team should work out pretty well actually in the Open World League as well, if you just don't use the Regieleki, but like maybe a Magnezone or maybe some other Pokemon that would be fitting here. Because like the combination between the Traveler Elite and the Saysop of Ampharos was really amazing to play with, but Regieleki is just, you're going to see it all over again. Literally the weakest charge move going to just knock you out from half health. It is wild. We're going to see here the matchup against the Traveler Elite. Very nice swap by the opponent here onto my Seed Bomb into a Drapion. But as you can see there's no lot that we can do about Drapion, as you're going to see how much damage this move going to do here. It's wild. Crunch coming through, it puts us into a Poison Sting downrange, which is really wild, because Crunch is not even the strongest charge move or anything like this, but literally just nearly knocks me out and it's a neutral charge move. It's so squishy. It is really not good to use, so rather enjoy your Easter than yeah, trying to go outside and try to do this Pokemon here. There were also some issues again in New Zealand, what a surprise, where they were just not able to do the raids. Good job Niantic, enjoy the non-remote raiding, I guess. It's such an insane, yeah, I don't know, like it doesn't make sense. Anything what they do doesn't really make too much sense. Here we're going to now have at least our Traveler alive against whatever they have in the back. I expect already that they have something in the back that I don't like. Yep, it's going to be a Skuntank. It's kind of like commonly seen. If you have a Drapion in the Open Ultra League, you usually have a Skuntank as well. So like, I'm not really surprised of seeing this one here. The Crunch coming through here going to knock us out, and yeah, Ampharos doesn't really have a chance here anymore. So it's just a little bit awkward. Next opponent, let's take a look. Maybe we can get our first win here. We see the Traveler against the Luxray. My opponent actually going to bring some more spice as well, which is kind of cool to see. With the Luxray here, we're going to be able to go for one Seed Bomb onto the opponent's Greedent here. We're going to go into our Regieleki here, and we're just going to try to go for one Thunder, I think. Let's see how much damage a Body Slam does against us. It is wild. It's just a normal Body Slam, 35 energy from a Greedent, and it just completely annihilates me. It does more than our charge move, which is a Stab Thunder. It's just, yeah. Honestly, this is such a glass cannon. Cannot really recommend you for Great League or anything like this. It's never going to be viable. Like, it's never going to be a Pokemon that you ever really want to have. If you have just one or whatever, or like can trade one for the Dex entry, you're totally fine with this Pokemon. It will never be good for either Great League or Ultra League, or in general Go Battle League, as well as also raiding, because just the bulk is missing and you cannot really, even if it has like a bait move, I don't even think it would be that crazy good either. So kind of sad to see that they don't really, yeah, I don't know, like it's just sad to see like such a Pokemon being locked into those raids where you only have to do it in person. There's no other way of getting around it. Then it's bugged and then it's a horrible Pokemon, so I know, don't really see the worth other than the dex entry for this one, but we're at least going to be able to now see Ampharos against the Trevenant. We can go for 2 Brutal Swings here, which is going to be nice. First one coming through, second one coming through immediately afterwards. Let's see, does it do enough damage here for us? It does just knock out the opponent's Trevenant. We're gonna get our first win here, which is of course amazing. Next opponent here, we're going to see a Noctowl in the lead. Horrific lead, worst possible lead. We're going to swap out into Ampharos, and of course we're going to encounter Swampert. Because our Focus Blast got shielded the last time, I'm gonna go ahead and go for our Brutal Swing instead here right now, hoping to get the shield. Didn't work out. Great. We're going to shield up the move from the opponent. It's going to be an Earthquake, which is actually not really necessary for them. I think they could have just run for the Hydro Cannon, they would have been fine. But I take this because I'm going to go for the full farm down now. They're going to go for another Earthquake, which is kind of wild. So we are 2 shields down. We see the Scrafty coming in. If they didn't shield the first one, believing that I don't have the Focus Burst, I expected them to not shield the second one, but turns out the Scrafty just going to have a great time here. Going to be able to go for 1 Power Punch. I don't even get to a next charge move here. And our Trevenant has to come in now, because you're going to see afterwards how much damage this Scrafty can do against our Regieleki, and it is just insane. Honestly, let's take a look at this one. We can go for 1 Seed Bomb. We're going to get some damage on them. We can go for another Seed Bomb. Gonna hit them low. My only hope was that they might not, that they might go into a farm down range on me, but it's just barely not enough. We can go into our Regieleki here, and as we're going to see, we're going to get hit by this +1 foul play, going to nearly knock me out, and now we're going to get knocked out by a Noctowl, which is kind of disrespectful. I mean, we are legendary electric type, and they just gonna go into their Noctowl in the Ultra League and going to be able to knock us out. It's just wild. Next opponent, again, like honestly, I also hit like every possible, worst possible lead here right now. As well as we're going to encounter a Toxicroak, already double counter team here right now, which is kind of wild. I guess there are not a lot of fairy type Pokemon available right now. So I guess that's okay. Brutal Swing coming in here. Going to do some decent damage. I can go for another one here, and this should hopefully knock them out here, even though it's resisted. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's going to knock them out, which is nice. So you can realign at least, which is going to be good, so we don't have to have the opponent's, what's called the opponent's obstacle against our our lead there with Trevenant. We're going to be able to get the shield from the opponent here, which is nice as well, but Surfetch as well has access to the move Brave Bird as well as Night Slash, and they're going to go for the Night Slash first, which I would have liked to not shield, but honestly, I thought they would have Brave Bird at this point of time. We see the Night Slash coming through here, which is going to do some decent damage against us. We can go for our own move. We have to try to catch a move here as well. Let's take a look at what we can do here. We can catch the move onto our Regieleki. Hopefully they don't get the boost with this Night Slash. Of course they're gonna get the boost as well, because they totally needed this, because you see already how much damage the counter did. I think they would have been able to farm me down without it. They're going to be just a little bit of, I don't know, like they just want to show me their final move, I think, on the Surfetch, which is fine. We're going to see now the final move of the Surfetch, which is going to be the Brave Bird, which I'm actually interested, because I don't really understand why you go for both of those moves. Usually you always have the Leaf Blade on there, because Leaf Blade does so much more damage than the Night Slash and has the same energy. So curious why you're not going for the Leaf Blade, because it also would help you for Tapu Fini, but don't know, maybe you just are scared, too much scared for like the Giratina here. That could also be the case. Speaking of Giratina, of course, we have it here in front of us, as we can go ahead and go for another Brutal Swing. The cool thing about this one is it's actually going to put them into a range where I can farm all the way down and survive with a 1 HP, allowing me to even go for another charge move here against this next opponent. Showcased his team as well before on my channel. Very talented battler. Also, I think already qualified for Worlds, which is really cool. But yeah, we're going to go into our Regieleki. I'm not going to shield, I'm just going to not really care. I'm just going to go for my Thunder. If they want to go for the Earthquake to one-shot me, they can go for it. Have fun with that. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. They're going to go ahead and go for the Icicle Spear. So I'm going to swap out now into my Trevenant. I have to shield this move up here. I'm just going to go full on for Trevenant, because my other Pokemon just literally has no play. We see the Charizard coming through. I thought of maybe even going for the bait move here, but then I just decided to go straight for my Shadow Ball. Gonna get the shield from the opponent. And now I'm just going to hope that they're going to go for the bait here with Dragon Claw. And they didn't. And this is going to be a good game. So I think they didn't have enough energy for that yet. But I was like really hoping for it, because then I might have been able to sweep endgame with my Regieleki. But like this, they're going to have enough energy in order to knock me out here. So yeah, it's basically literally like playing with 2 Pokemon and like 3 shields, because Regieleki is not really a good Pokemon to use. Next opponent here, let's take a look what they're going to bring here. We're going to see the Cresselia in Elite. This is going to be a decent one for us, as we're going to be able to go ahead and just do some decent damage with our Trevenant now, especially against this Cobalion coming in. They are double weak against the Trevenant lead. Finally, we don't get like completely hard-rolled from the get-go. This is an amazing stuff to see as well, because yeah, we didn't really have the best lead so far. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball against the opponent at this point of time. That's going to hopefully force another shield. You saw me shooting there before because nobody goes for the bait in the first move there. They're always going to go for Stone Edge because nobody has to shield it. But as you can see here, Stone Edge usually does a ton of damage. Still allows me now to go for one more Shadow Ball. And honestly, as I'm going to see here now the Empoleon, and I know already that they're going to have the Cresselia, I'm just going to swap into my Ampharos. I'm going to try to get the Cresselia low because they're going to swap into this one anyway. You see me here no shielding, which doesn't really make too much sense in general, but I want to win this game with my Regieleki. So, as it's a showcase for this Pokemon, I kind of try to build everything around that I can beat maybe both Pokemon even with it. But because they're going to go for one charge move here, and because they are not going to decide to go for one charge move against my Trevenant for whatever reason, I'm kind of forced to shield, throw here, because otherwise the opponent would have got another move against me. So I'm going to knock out the Cresselia, but at least you're going to be able to go into our Regieleki against his opponent's Empoleon. And of course, we're gonna go for the BM move here, because we kind of have to. Goodbye there, Hyper Beam Regieleki against a Steel type. That's completely wild. Last game for this video, not that many battles as well, because honestly, it's not like a Pokemon that you're going to try to build anyway. It's just a Pokemon to have some fun with. We're going to see here the Player coming through from the Weezing, which you're going to be able to shield up. We see the Cobalion coming in. I'm going to try to go for one Focus Burst there actually, but they're going to go for the Stone Edge first, which is an interesting play here. Gonna put me into farm down range, I guess. I can go for one bait here first. Going to be the Brutal Swing, going to get shielded. Try to go for the Focus Burst, but they're going to be able to reach the next charge move in time. Maybe she'll shield it here, but I kind of didn't want to, because I can go into my Trevenant, get a ton of energy, basically 100, and I will be able to just go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball now in order to knock them out. In comes again most likely the Weezing, which we're going to go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball, trying to force the shield from the opponent, and hopefully I can sweep endgame now with my Regieleki. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to be able to let this move go through here. It's going to be a Brutal Swing. I can swap out immediately, and we see the Tapu Fini coming in. This must be like the game that we're going to sweep endgame, right? Move comes through here. We're going to be able to go for the Thunder, going to do some decent damage, and we're going to have to shield up, of course, the Surf, because it would do more damage than, for example, a non-step Brutal Swing from the Weezing. Let me try to go for the Hyper Beam here. I think we need to do that. Do we survive on a Brutal Swing here? We should, right? No, we don't. Like, we had half of our health, and we still don't survive a Brutal Swing. I literally thought I would easily be able to survive a non-step Brutal Swing from a Weezing, but no, it turns out we don't. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on it. Otherwise, you're going to see 2 videos on the screen right now. Check them out if you're interested in any of them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!